Hello everyone, this is General Haggerty. Welcome to my war room in Prince George, British Columbia. Well, I'm back in town. I was out at the lake on the weekend. It was really nice out there. It was great to get out there again. I've been out there the last couple weekends. That's why you haven't seen a video from me for a while. But it started raining yesterday, so I decided to come home yesterday and took it easy for a bit. And I thought I'd make a few more videos this morning because I did get a couple of things in the mail this week. So this is going to be the first video. This is on combat miniatures. Now, a few months ago, I made a video called Combat Miniatures, and I'll leave a description or a link in the description box of this video. You can go take a look at it. But it's about a website called Combat Miniatures, and it's this guy Richard Johnson. He makes up designs for things that you can use in your Axis and Allies games or in Global War or any type of game like that. The kind of little pieces that you would use instead of using little markers like here. We have a shipyard marker, right? So he makes 3D pieces that you can use. Plus he sells little plastic army men like the kind that you see me use in my games, and also decals like flight carrier decks, and you know, just the insignia that you might stick on the side of your tank or on your planes or whatever. Like there's all kinds of stuff that he sells on his website, and I really encourage you to go to his website and check it out. Of course, I'm going to leave links in the description box for a few different places. Before you're looking at some of the miniatures here that he sent me this week, but before we get into that, let's just take you here. So here's this is where I usually get the stuff, is on Shapeways, because I buy in bulk, right? So you can see, and these prices that you see here, if you make an account at Shapeways, then the price goes down. Like if you go to Shapeways and you don't have an account there, then the prices are going to look more expensive. But don't worry about that. As soon as you make an account, and you have to in order to get to make an order, then the price will go down on these. So anyway, there's this is what I mean. Like you can buy bulk 3D printed stuff. So that's what I would do, right? Because you know, I don't want just one bunker. I want a whole bunch, right? So there's that, and then there's his actual website here, Combat Miniatures, right? And there's all kinds of stuff. See, this is what I was talking about here, the flight carrier deck. But there's all kinds, like here, this is one of the items that I'm going to show you today. And this is what I've been contacting him on, is this piece right here, a shipyard. And I'll show you why. So let me just show you a little bit more here first, though. Like you can get the little plastic soldiers, like I said. You know, he shows you all. So you can get individual soldiers, or you can get boxes of them. So, which is kind of cool. Like I usually buy boxes, right? Then there's t-shirts, and what I mostly like the site for myself is for the structures, because I haven't gotten into using decals or anything like that yet. Like I don't paint my stuff like that. I usually just spray paint it, right? Which is a lot easier than what some of the people do. But he paints stuff up. Like look at this here. This is a rail depot that he's painted up and sent to me. So that's pretty neat. Like you can buy a bunch of these, and you can develop your own rules around rail stations, or you could. I think there's something on. I think there's something online there that they said that there's suggested things, like on historical board gaming site. So anyway, but yeah, you can paint them up like this if you'd like. Me, I just spray paint them though. But that's pretty neat though, this rail station. And there's a couple other things that he painted up for me here. This is a supply depot. So if you had some kind of house rules regarding supply depots, there you go. And then here, looks kind of the same, but it's not exactly the same. This is a recruitment center. So it would be like a factory, but just for dudes, you know what I mean? Just for infantry. So if you put one of these on a territory, then you know you decide how many infantry you can put there, right? And here we have a sub pen, where submarines go. Here, let me just find a sub here. Here's a Dutch submarine. So, you know, there's rules on historical board gaming regarding sub pens as well. So the sub goes inside there, and then it's protected, right? And then you see this little circle on top here. He made that circle so that you could put, like these are the Axis and Allies anti-aircraft guns. You could put an anti-aircraft gun on top if you wanted. Anyway, so he painted that up for me as well. He painted it up like in the camouflage, a German kind of scheme there, right? So that's pretty cool. And it looks like he spray painted this one, maybe weathered it a bit. This is a T-bunker. You've seen some of the bunkers that I have already. Well, this is another kind of bunker that he's made up. Here, let me just show you, so you can get an idea on the size. So this is the new T-bunker, and this is the Atlantic wall bunker that I've been using. And also I have the pillbox bunkers. So that one looks like it's about the size of a pillbox bunker, right? The T-bunker. And it'll be easier to fit on territories. Like if you were using the small map, I use the large map for Global War, but if you were using the small map, and you like this style of bunker better than the pillbox, like I was using the pillbox for smaller territories, right? But this thing here would be good for fitting in small territories, or using on the small map, because it takes up a little bit less room than this one here. So that's a cool new option, is the T-bunker that he's got there. Anyway, so there's the T-bunker as well. And then there's this thing here. It's a mine. Now I've got, hang on a second, let me just grab one, okay? So I've got these mine tokens here. And there's rules on historical board gaming where you get these tokens from, and you put them in a C zone, and I'm not going to get into the rules of them, but you put them into a C zone, so any enemy ships that go in there, they have to roll to see if they get hit by mines or not, right? But Richard has made these mines, and when I saw them on his site there, I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I really liked it, but I thought that it would be big. I thought that it would be a lot bigger than this, and but it's smaller, and it's perfect for what I'm thinking, because you look at the token there. It's actually smaller than the token, so it's not going to take up as much room, because you know, like there's lots of big C zones in this game, but there's also a lot of small ones too. And so if you've got a whole bunch of Navy in there, like let me just take you up here. So like the Japanese might want to put in some of these, right? You could just put that in here, and it doesn't take up much room, and you can paint it whatever color you wanted, so it stood out a little more. Obviously you'd want to paint it one of the colors that your ships aren't, so that it doesn't be confused with a ship or whatever. But that's a little cooler than using the mine token. The other thing is what I really wanted though, and what I've been contacting him and talking to him about, was Shipyards, because when I bought Shipyards, like this is Ebart's Shipyard, and I really like Ebart's stuff. I've got his Capital Cities. You've seen those on my channel before. He does really good stuff. But this Shipyard, when you're looking at things online, you don't really get a sense of how large they are necessarily on Shapeways. And so I bought these, and it was way too big. Like, how do you fit this Shipyard into a territory like this, right? It's just way too large. And so what I did was I cut it in half. You can see that. I cut it in half. But when I did that, it kind of made it look silly. Like it looks, it would be okay if this was cut down too, right? But then, you know, like you've cut it up too much. But if the whole Shipyard like this would have been this wide, then that would have been fine. But it's like with the mine there that I was mentioning, you don't necessarily get an idea of what the size is until you actually get one. And that's why I was happy that he sent me these things, because I could get an idea on the size, so that I can see, okay, I'm going to order a bunch of mines because I really like the size of them. But this is what I really wanted, was this piece right here. These are going to be my new Shipyards. So he sent me this one, and I'm going to order a bunch more, and I'll paint them. I don't think I'll paint them the same colors I did with these ones though, because in the next version of this game, there's going to be more naval bases and shipyards. I think one's going to be called a dockyard. So on a shipyard, you would be able to build capital ships, and on a dockyard you couldn't build them, but you could repair them. I think that's what it's going to be. Don't quote me on that, but it's going to be some kind of difference like that. And so I could use one as a shipyard and one as a dockyard, but I'll paint this a different color though, because it does look a little bit closer to the naval bases that I have, and this is one of Ebar's naval bases, right? And so I'll just paint this one a different color. So this will be my new shipyards, and I really, really like this this piece right here. It's got the crane on it and everything. But if you think that might be a little, like this is even a little bit bigger than my naval bases, right? And if space is an issue for you, then another thing that he did, which was a really cool idea, was he made just a crane to represent the shipyard. And that's fine, like you don't need the dock and the buildings and everything. If you put a crane on there, then you know, okay, there's a shipyard right there. And so like here's the shipyard token that you would use if you were just using tokens. Look at that, that actually is smaller than the token, the footprint on the ground. Like it doesn't matter so much how the crane sticks out. What matters is the space that you have to set it on the table, right? So you know, like it's not going to take up any more space than what your token does. And what happens when you got these tokens, then you've got people in there, and you tend to kind of put them on top or like this or whatever. But and then you miss it. Okay, you forget that it's in there, right? But with these things, you can't do that. So that's great, right? Anyway, that's why one of the reasons I like to use it, other than the fact that they look cooler, right? And then there's this thing too that he has. This is his version of a dock, naval base, and it's a nice one too. But like I'm pretty happy with the naval bases that I have, right? But again, it's got that circle in there, like the submarine pen did, so that you can put the gun in there if you wanted to, right? But anyway, that's pretty nice too. But I'm not in the market for one of these because I'm happy with the ones that I have. But this is great though. I love this piece, the shipyard piece. So I will be ordering a bunch of those. And this here's another thing here. It's a radar dish, and it's when I looked at it again online, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, but it's, you know, it's probably pretty big or whatever, right? But when you look at, like here, this is HBG's chain radar. When you look at the size of it, it'll fit into a territory a lot easier than the chain radar will. Or, you know, you could use the chain radar for the British radar, and you could use this for the other nations' radars. That would work too, right? So what else do we have here? Oh, there's he's got oil derricks here. He's got a bunch of things, but these are the ones that he sent me this time around. Anyway, really neat. I might at some point in time get some of these recruitment centers. I'm not sure. Like I wanna learn how to play this game well before I start making up a whole lot of my own rules, right? And there's a lot of rules to begin with in this game when you consider all of the expansion sets. You know, it's not just a matter of learning the out-of-box game, but then you start throwing in expansion sets, and that's a whole new, what is there, 28 of them or something like that? So 28 new sets of rules, right? Not that you would play them all at once, but just that's a lot of rules. And so at some point down the road, I'm going to get into the recruitment centers. And like here, from the last video, I've got these for POW camps, right? And I haven't even made up well, I've thought about the rules, and I think I know what they're going to be, but I haven't played a game with the POW camps yet. Like I said, though, it takes a lot to learn the game, and so you kind of want to use the rules for a while before you start making your own. But when I do, though, then who knows, maybe like I really do like the fighting railways, so maybe I'll throw in rail stations into my fighting railways, and maybe I will put in recruitment centers and supply depots. This bunker here, I really like that. There are special bunkers on the board, like there's for the sea lion thing, it just gives you a token, right? It says line bunker on it, so maybe I'll use this for my line bunker. that goes in London. The fact that I only have one of them. If I didn't already have the Atlantic wall bunkers, then absolutely this is probably the one that I would get. But because I've already own a set of Atlantic wall bunkers and a whole bunch of them, then I probably won't do that. What else have we got here? So this is from the last video as well. It might be my favorite piece that he has is the coastal guns. The coastal guns are really, really neat. What else? Oh, and this, of course, there's the air bases. There's the air base that he made up. Love the air bases. So when you look at, these are the bases that I'm using, that I'll be using in the game here. I got my naval base, I've got my shipyard, and I've got my air base, right? And they're all about the same size. And so if I make this a different color, I was thinking maybe gold, because I don't have anything on my board that's gold. Like it would be cool to use some kind of green for a naval base, or a blue, but I've got blues and I've got greens on my board, you know, like the French are blue, and I've got a lighter color of blue for some of my neutral countries. And then of course this is kind of a blue-green as well. So maybe, even though it's not a normal color for a shipyard to be gold, just because I don't have anything gold on my board. I've got yellow stuff, I've got every color that you can think of, but that's one color I don't have, so that might help it stick out a bit. Anyway, again, I'm going to leave links in the description box of where you can find these things. You can, for Combat Miniatures, I'll give you the link to their site, and I'll give you the link to their Shapeways page where you can find them. And I encourage you to go there and to check them out. They really enhance your game. Like, these are nice, you know, these tokens, the acrylic tokens that you get from historical board gaming, but these are just a little bit of a step up when you start using 3D pieces like that. And you don't have to do that right away. Like, if you can't afford it, you know, just start out with the tokens and then replace things one at a time. Like, I'm going to get some mines this year for my birthday, you know, where I'm going to get, you know, some submarine pens instead of subs. Like here, let me just show you. Here's a sub marker here, right? A sub base. Maybe one order you decide to get rid of these markers and put these in. Now this is a double, but you can also get singles, and that's probably more what I would do. So it would be just half of that, right? You could put one sub in instead of two. But anyway, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want, right? And you can make up rules regarding sub pens if you want, or you can just use them per sub bases, like I probably will. Anyway, so that's all I got for you here in this video. I'm going to make some other videos. I got a bunch of expansion sets in the mail this week as well, so I'm going to get into those after I start uploading this one. So, thank you to Richard at Combat Miniatures for sending me these things. I'll definitely be ordering some more, definitely some mines and some shipyards to start off with, and then down the road probably some of the other stuff too. So thank you very much, Richard. Take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.